This is a 2016 Ford F-650, and it is not a normal pickup truck. Sorry, excuse me for a second. Okay, let us start that again properly. This is a 2016 Ford F-650, the ultimate pickup truck. Basically, a super truck. You have heard of supercars, of course, but this is the super truck, one of the largest pickups anywhere. Today, I am going to review it for you and explain why this thing is so ridiculous. I borrowed this F-650 from CNC Motors, an exotic car dealership here in Southern California. They have an incredible inventory of amazing cars, lining their showroom with wild and rare machines. You will find million-dollar exotics, old classics, and of course wonderfully weird stuff like this giant truck. Insistrampori. If you are curious, you can check them out later by following the link in the description below. Now, you surely know the Ford F-Series, the best-selling vehicle in America for many years. Most people buy the Ford F-150, which is already plenty capable for almost all normal needs. If you need to tow or haul a bit more, there is usually no problem at all with a well-equipped F-150. When you need to tow something more specific or heavier, maybe you upgrade to the F-250. And if you really want to pull something huge, you step up to the F-350 heavy-duty versions. The vast majority of consumers think the F-Series lineup ends there, but it actually keeps going. This truck is an F-650, and the range even stretches up to the enormous F-750 models. Most of these higher-numbered trucks are commercial vehicles, tow trucks, ambulances, and heavy dump trucks. But not this one. This is built as a regular old pickup truck, except it is absolutely massive. Ford does not sell it looking like this. They sell the F-650 as a cab with a bare strip chassis. A company called Super Trucks converts that chassis into a pickup with luxury features and a truck bed. The F-650 weighs about 10,000 pounds before that conversion, so this thing really is huge. Fortunately, it has a serious engine, a 6.7-liter Power-Stroke diesel V8 under the hood. It makes about 330 horsepower and roughly 750 pound-feet of torque. Today, I am going to give you a full tour, take it out on the road, and finally give it a full Doug score. But first, let us start with the quirks and features of this ridiculous super truck. I will begin with simply getting inside, because as you can see, this truck is unbelievably tall. This is a truck with a staircase bolted to the side, which you need because the cab sits so high. Even with the staircase, the lowest step is still really high, so you have to lift your leg way up. If you are old or small, you might not even be able to manage that first climb into the cab. Fortunately, they thought of that. When you open the door, another powered stair automatically deploys. Now you have an even larger staircase, finally low enough to make climbing into this truck realistic. You go step 1, step 2, step 3, and then you are finally up inside the F-650. Getting out is the same routine in reverse, climbing down each stair before your feet finally touch the ground. Shut the door, and that extra step folds neatly back into the truck, hiding under the big side panel. That folding stair is not just for the driver. The passenger side and the rear doors have the same feature. But this staircase is not just a staircase. Look closely, and you will see a big fuel cap on top of it. This whole structure is actually a giant fuel tank, with diesel going in right at the top of the steps. There are 2 of these tanks, one on each side, so the truck carries fuel on both flanks. Together, they hold around 115 gallons of diesel, which is a ridiculous amount of fuel. At today's diesel prices, filling this truck can cost $400 or $500 per tank full. Down the side, it is not all fuel. There are also lockable cargo compartments built into the body. You can stick gear or tools inside, finally giving this pickup something like a secure trunk. Move to the back and you find the bed, which is basically the regulator that creates problems. Open the F-350 fuel door and you only see empty holes that look unfinished. Another issue is the tires. The F-650 uses massive commercial-grade rubber, more like a crane or dump truck. These tires do not really fit inside the wheel well. If they rose much higher, the fender would literally cut into them. Then there is the bed height. Drop the tailgate, and it comes up to about stomach level on an adult. But there is no way you could easily lift something heavy into this bed, even though the chassis is highly capable. So you end up with a massive truck and an incredibly strong frame, but almost no practical way to use the bed. There are more quirks outside. The truck has massively huge mud flaps that look like they came off a semi. The mud flaps are so big they even have their own turn signal lights mounted right on the top edge. When you signal a turn, 4 different lights flash at the back, including the mud flaps and the high cab lights. Down the sides, an enormous number of LED indicators light up, clearly warning everyone you are changing lanes. The front end design is completely insane, and you instantly know this is one of Ford's giant commercial vehicles. The front bumper sticks out like 1.5 feet beyond the body, finished in chrome and matte black. It is so large and tough that you can literally sit on it, something you definitely cannot do with most exotic cars. To reach the engine, there is no interior latch. Instead, you walk around and undo heavy straps on each side. Then, it is all about brute strength to haul the giant hood upward, revealing the engine bay way up high. The LED obsession continues up front, with 4 separate auxiliary lamps embedded into that massive bumper. Flip all the auxiliary switches and the front and rear LEDs glow together, making the truck impossible to miss. Move inside and you notice how tall everything feels. My usual camera setup would not even reach this height. The strangest interior detail is the transmission. It isn't automatic, but there is no park gear at all. To park, you put the truck in neutral and yank a huge floor-mounted parking brake, like on a heavy commercial rig. There is a fuel switch in the center stack, letting you choose between the left and right diesel tanks while driving. Another button marked "Hold 2 seconds" will lower the back of the truck slightly to help you load the bed. A cloud icon button activates an exhaust brake, restricting exhaust flow to slow the engine on long downhill stretches. To the left of the wheel, there is an unlabeled black button that triggers a ridiculously loud train horn. On the door, another switch slides the giant mirrors in or out, perfect when you are towing a wide trailer. Aside from those quirks, the cabin is pretty basic, with a 3-across front seat and lots of hard plastic. In back, the bench can fold down into a small bed, so you can technically sleep in your F-650 if you need to. Each front seat back even has 2 storage pockets, twice what you get in most normal vehicles. Those are the quirks and features, and now it is time to get this massive thing on the road and see how it drives. Behind the wheel, you sit incredibly high. It feels like driving a semi-truck rather than a regular pickup. I have driven big Sprinter vans and G-Wagon 6x6s, but this feels taller and more absurd than all of them. It will not fit in most garages and parking structures, so practicality is terrible. But you truly are king of the road.